Few prophetic symbols in Scripture are as mysterious, debated, and consequential as the little horn in the book of Daniel. Across centuries, theologians, historians, and prophecy scholars have wrestled with its meaning. Is the little horn a king, a kingdom, a system of power, a future Antichrist figure, or something already fulfilled in history? Daniel does not mention the little horn once but 3 times, across different visions: Daniel 7, Daniel 8, Daniel 11. Each passage adds new layers, new characteristics, and deeper insight. When combined, these texts reveal a consistent prophetic profile, one that connects earthly politics, spiritual rebellion, persecution of God's people, and opposition to God himself. Tonight, we will examine each appearance of the little horn, identify its key characteristics, compare historical and future interpretations, connect Daniel's prophecy to end-time expectations. This is not speculation. This is Scripture interpreting Scripture. Daniel was written during the Babylonian exile, around the 6th century BC. Daniel lived under Babylon, Medo-Persia, the rise of Greece. Yet his visions stretch far beyond his lifetime into the rise and fall of empires, the coming of Christ, and the final rebellion before God's kingdom is fully established. Daniel's visions are apocalyptic, meaning they use symbols. They compress long periods of time. They reveal spiritual realities behind political powers. The little horn is not an isolated symbol. It emerges from beastly kingdoms, revealing the corruption of power when humanity exalts itself against God. Daniel 7 describes 4 beasts rising from the sea: a leopard with 4 heads representing Greece, a lion with eagle's wings representing Babylon, a bear raised on one side representing Medo-Persia, a terrifying iron-toothed beast representing Rome. From the 4th beast, Daniel sees something unusual. I was considering the horns, and behold, there came up among them another horn, a little one. Daniel 7-8. This little horn comes after the 4th kingdom, rises among 10 horns. 10 kings uproots 3 horns, has eyes like a man, has a mouth speaking great things. This is not an animalistic ruler, is calculating, intelligent, and arrogant. The arrogance of the little horn. Daniel continues, he shall speak words against the Most High. Daniel 7:25. This is blasphemy, not merely political power. The little horn claims divine authority, opposes God directly, exalts itself above heaven. This aligns with later descriptions of the man of lawlessness in 2 Thessalonians 2 and the beast in Revelation 13. Persecution of the saints. Daniel 7:25 also says, he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. This implies prolonged oppression, religious persecution, systematic pressure. Not a brief event. God's people are not merely attacked, they are worn down. One of the most controversial lines, he shall think to change the times and the law, indicates authority over religious observance, manipulation of sacred institutions, a counterfeit system replacing God's order. This is not just tyranny, it is spiritual usurpation. They shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time. This prophetic phrase equals 3.5 years, 142 months, 1260 prophetic days. A limited but intense period. God sets the boundary. Divine judgment. Daniel 7 does not end in despair. The court shall sit in judgment, and his dominion shall be taken away. The little horn's power is temporary. God's kingdom is eternal. Daniel 8 introduces a new vision: a ram Medo-Persia, a goat Greece, a notable horn Alexander the Great. For horns his divided empire. From one of those 4 horns, out of one of them came a little horn. Daniel 8-9. This little horn grows toward the south, toward the east, toward the beautiful land, Israel. Daniel 8 intensifies the language. This is a direct attack on heaven. It grew great, even to the host of heaven. It cast down some of the stars. This is symbolic of attacking God's people, challenging divine authority, spiritual warfare, desecration of worship. It took away the daily sacrifice and cast down the sanctuary. This refers to abomination in sacred space, interruption of temple worship, replacement of God-ordained practices historically. This aligns with Antiochus Epiphanes, who desecrated the Jewish temple in 167 BC. Yet Antiochus becomes a type, a foreshadowing, not the final fulfillment. Daniel hears, for 2,300 evenings and mornings, then the sanctuary shall be restored. Once again, God allows desecration. God sets the limit. God restores what was defiled. Daniel 11 gives the most detailed political prophecy in Scripture. While much of it describes historical conflicts between the Seleucid and Ptolemaic kingdoms, the focus shifts dramatically near the end. The king shall do as he wills. He shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god. Daniel 11:36. This mirrors Daniel 7 exactly. He rejects all God's honors. Power itself speaks astonishing things against God. This goes beyond Antiochus and points forward to a final end-time ruler. Deception and prosperity by intrigue. He shall make himself strong. This is not brute force alone. This is deception, manipulation, and false peace. Yet he shall come to his end, with none to help him. No allies, no rescue, no escape from divine judgment. Three major interpretations. Antiochus Epiphanes' partial fulfillment explains Daniel 8, while does not fully satisfy Daniel 7 or 11a. Long-lasting religious political power arises from Rome persecutes saints over centuries. A final Antichrist figure rises shortly before Christ's return, combines all characteristics. Many scholars conclude Antiochus was a prototype. The little horn culminates in a future global ruler. Daniel does not end with the little horn. He ends with, the kingdom and the dominion shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Evil rises, evil boasts, evil persecutes, but it never wins. The little horn represents humanity's final rebellion against God, but also the certainty that God alone rules history. Empires fall, tyrants perish, God's kingdom remains. The little horn is a warning against arrogance, against false worship, against trusting political power over God. But it is also a promise. God sees, God limits evil, God will judge, God will reign. History is not random. Prophecy is not fear. The throne of heaven is not empty.